major step forward in a community-led effort to tackle systemic issues on Buffalo's east side. The Buffalo Together Community Response Fund announcing 30 community-based organizations are receiving grants that add up to $600,000. Now, the Buffalo Together Community Response Fund was created in the wake of the racist 514 massacre from 3 years ago yesterday. The group raised more than $6 million to support and lift up disadvantaged neighborhoods, and they're really making long-term community investments. This first round of grants averaging around $20,000, but some as high as $25,000. Thomas Beauford Jr. is president and CEO of the Buffalo Urban League, and he co-chairs the steering committee for the Buffalo Together Fund. Sir, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. And let me just ask you, first of all, obviously, nearly 3 dozen groups getting this money. Give us some of the highlights and how you're putting this funding to use.
Right. So thank you so much for having us tonight. So with the Buffalo Together Fund, we've been working slightly since May of 2022 and working on strategic initiatives that's going to help move this East Side community move forward. Empowerment in terms of economics, in terms of ongoing development, and just some transformational strategies that we've been able to do some research on and put together and was recently reported. So with this funding, we were looking for organizations that were in a place that they could add some value to this initiatives that we've laid out. And we had north of 80 applications, and the process was arduous, and it's just really hard to select from everyone who's doing a lot of great work in the community. But we did find some that we thought, at least for this initial round of funding, that were in a place that they could get some outcomes and could help really energize and put a spark in these initiatives we're planning.
Yeah, that's the difficult work here, right, is going through so many deserving organizations and narrowing
Absolutely.
it down and making those decisions. What type of feedback have you gotten from the groups that are learning today that they're getting this much needed funding for them?
Well, it's certainly much needed. And I will say that, this funding was in no way to be sustainable. It's not going to fulfill anyone's budget for the full year or anything, but it will help with initiatives that many of them were already doing as they articulated in their applications. And that, we could help them with their initiatives and some infrastructure work assistance that they needed. So we think that the organizations were very deserving, and you're going to be able to see some outcomes that, again,
It looks like our shot has frozen there. Sometimes we wait for just a second and it will come back. So I'm going to pause here for just a moment. We apologize to Mr. Beauford there. That's the beauty of live TV, right? And when you're relying on the technology, it looks like we have lost that signal. But just to reiterate, okay, sir, I think you're back. We lost you for a second there. Please finish your thought.
Okay, well, what I would say was that certainly this funding was not supposed to sustain any particular organization, but certainly to help them with initiatives that they've articulated in their application, that they're already well grounded in the community, and we feel like they're going to get some good outcomes from that, and in alignment with our longer term strategies. I will also say that there will be other opportunities for us to engage not only these awardees, but others who weren't selected in this initial round as part of our longer term strategy.
Yeah, no, this is just the beginning. Exciting news to share. Thomas Beauford Jr., I know that you're traveling, sir, so thank you so much for hopping on and talking to us about this.
Thank you, Michael.